Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur Season 2, Episode 1. Yes, this is the official review. It's been about a year since the first and last time I saw it. I decided to see it again before I did the review, and I'm so glad I did because I forgot so many things because I only watched it once. Just to unpack right after where we left off, the finale of the last season, where Moon Girl is teleported, Lunella, she's teleported somewhere else. We see that Beyonder finds her, of course, because he's keeping track. He likes to just pop in whenever he wants. He puts her to somewhere he shouldn't have, which leads to them being stuck. The plus side and upside of this episode was all the fun. We saw Devil Girl. I liked how Moon Girl and Devil Girl, they didn't have any beef really. It wasn't personal. One was protective Yada because she needed him to get home. In her mind, she needed him because she needed an assistant to get home. And Devil Girl disliked Beyonder because he always messes with her like he messes with Lunella. I like seeing that. We see Devil Girl in a flash, another episode with it. So I'm glad that they did the full circle where they brought Devil Girl. I wanted more screen time. Like, I want a whole episode where it's about Devil Girl and Moon Girl, not just a brief moment between them, because it was brief. It wasn't long. We didn't really get to know Moon Dinosaur much. He didn't really have a lot of screen time. I would have loved for Moon Devil or Moon Dinosaur, Moon Devil Dinosaur to meet Devil. We didn't have that interaction. I'm glad they have a little introduction. Maybe she'll come back in another episode. It was like one of the highlights of this one. It had its funny moments though. That's what made it most of the episode carefree, because the Beyonder, his tiptoeing was giving How the Grinch Stole Christmas. It was funny. It had its fun moments. Lunella was doing everything for the Beyonder. She was the one protecting him when he was at his lowest point. And it was more like Lunella kept giving and Beyonder just kept taking. He made the whole thing about him in the sense that, oh yes, what he was going through and what he had to deal with and people coming for him, but he didn't have to deal with it per se. Lunella's the one that had to deal with it for him. And the Beyonder was very self-absorbed. He didn't really care about what Lunella was going through, her mental health. It even shows when he takes like a power nap that she was thinking about her family, missing her family, not knowing how she was going to get back, if she was going to get back safely. And Beyonder didn't really care. He slept soundly. Now, keep in mind, Beyonder was he was going through his own version of going through something. Like, he was going through the everyday experience that other people deal with, but he made it bigger than what it actually was. Lunella, she basically held his hand, was there for him, comforted him, but he did nothing to reciprocate that. And later, when he needed help, she helped him again, tried to fight his own battles. Now, this villain they have, I call him a villain. To me, he is a full villain, because the Beyonder even offers to fix the place that he damaged, because obviously he didn't do it on purpose, and Beyonder's a fool, as we all know. Beyonder offering to fix his mistake with a snap of his fingers, he just instantly rejects this, which shows that he is so far gone. He doesn't want a resolution. He doesn't want everything restored. He just wants vengeance. The way he just comes for Lunella because she wants to protect the Beyonder, because she's trying to get back home. It's not because they're best friends. She would need his assistance to get back for her to go home. It was very limited need. The villain, the Molecular Man, he just attacks Lunella with such venom. It's so unnecessary. He literally goes back on what his planet was made for. Not to give the plot away for later reference of who this guy, the Molecular Man, is, but I do know this planet is supposed to be like a fun space. It's why Lunella can breathe in this planet, because it's supposed to be where all species can go and partake in this little place. To me, the fact that he would come for Lunella so hard, where he could have just like waved his wand and put her to the side if he just wanted to take out the Beyonder, but he took it personally that she was there defending Beyonder, trying to fight against him. And I usually like the music that they play in Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur 9 times out of 10. I love it. But in this episode, like, I was bopping, but at the same time, the lyrics, it really showed and emphasized how the guy was seeing Lunella, his perspective of Lunella, how he thought she was so insignificant and so defenseless that it was easy, and he did an overkill in a way by waving his wand, trying to hurt her, throw her around. It was like he was worse than the Beyonder, because the Beyonder hurt people by accident or hurt the guy's planet by accident, but this guy was purposely trying to hurt Lunella, who he knows consciously he can overpower, and yet he would do that to her. It was just so evil to me. I didn't understand how he could just do that to her. And sure, from his perspective, she could have been seen as an accomplice. But at the same time, Lunella had no responsibility or control over what was done to the planet. And he just had rejected the Beyonder's offer to fix it for no reason. I understand not wanting help from the very person that hurt him, or hurt his planet, or hurt his safe plus space, but to want to hurt someone that had nothing to do with it was weird to me. And then it getting joy off that. This episode definitely wasn't one of my favorites. Not even not even an episode I would try to see on my downtime. Maybe certain scenes, but not the full episode, because it was too intense. It was too it was doing it was steep. It was very much giving seriousness for a kids show, because she develops trauma after this experience, and she even has doubt in herself from this experience, because the way he comes at her so hard with his powers, and how she believes she wasn't enough, even though she had that moon girl magic, because she's very intelligent. She was fighting aliens all day, saving and protecting the Beyonder, and then at the last person she had to deal with, the last adversary, it wasn't it was almost like he was cheating. The molecular man was cheating, basically. He had the powers on similar to the Beyonder's level, and he used it on someone he knew wasn't on that level. So in a way, it was unfair. It was cheating, because if she was given time to prep for this villain, as most of the time Lunella gets that prep in past episodes, she gets that prep of being able to fight the villain or fight her adversary and win. But in this case, she didn't get prep. It was spur of the moment. She doesn't have any data on this guy. She could have defeated him if she had time, if she had the equipment. This guy was more prepared to fight someone on Beyonder's level, or more prepared to structure things so that he could succeed. Structured it so that the Beyonder could use his abilities when he landed on the planet. I found that unfair to Lunella. I don't even plan to watch this episode again anytime soon. This is like once a year type of thing. The last time I saw it was a year ago. A year ago. It won't be something I watch it to kick it on my personal time. It was very a boom in your face, this is season 2, episode 1 type of thing. This is the direction we're going with. That don't necessarily mean I like the direction, but I understand why they wanted to do it. They wanted to make a big bad that like was a true, like a real villain, because so far in the past episodes we haven't had we needed a villain. They wanted to introduce a villain that could top the last one that we just had. I can tell they wanted to top Mimi's old friend, him, and they did that. They topped him, because he was a guy that was an evil genius, but this Volker man, he's more like not a real genius. He's just a vengeful guy with a lot of power. And the Beyonder, he, even after seeing her get whooped up, he doesn't really check on Lunella. He just gets his powers. He doesn't ask how she's doing. He doesn't see or evaluate what she's feeling. Just dumps her back home and then leaves. He doesn't really care, and that's why I don't really like the Beyonder. In general, no one really does, because he's very selfish. He's very self-absorbed. The whole time Lunella gave more to him than him to her, and then he kind of brags about how he saved her, and I'm like, it's like recompense for her protecting him the entire time she was with him, and now he wants like a pat on the back, as he gave his own pat on the back for it, but not really evaluating the situation. But yeah, it was a very steep episode. When I first saw this, and when I watched it the second time, I had no idea how they were going to deal with Lunella's trauma from having this experience, but I'll leave it there for now. We'll discuss it in the next review. That's all for today, and stay tuned.